Well, the draft is in the books. Glowing remarks from everybody. Everybody thinks the Patriots had an amazing draft. Zoe, how do you feel about their draft?
I thought they had a really good draft. I think they addressed problems on offense, obviously, but you go back to free agency. It seems like they bolstered the defense, told you the direction they're going in, got a corner, got a big guy in the middle. And then what I liked about the draft is they're big physical guys. How many times did I come in here after games and tell you that Bob Socci and I sit there, I said, just look at this other team. Look how big this other team is. Look how big their linemen are. Look at the tackles. Look at the edge guys. Look at the rushers. And, we were a small team. A small team. It has nothing to do with the uniform. It's just physically small. They got big men. Like Morgan Moses, you get him. He's a huge guy on the right side. Now, obviously, you got Campbell on the left, and he's starting there. And then you go draft guys from Ohio State. You get the running back from Ohio State, LSU, Florida State. You get the big kid, 305 pounds, put him in the middle with Barmore and company. You've got big physical guys, and maybe that violence part is factored into this thing, too, when they watch these kids on tape. I love the fact Vrabel went down and took pads and said, you know what, Will Campbell, if we're going to draft you, I want to see what you got.
Of course you love
that's
that. You.
What other head coaches do that?
Of all the predictable things that were going to happen here today, McCone,
no doubt.
That one had to be at the top of the list.
Vrabel.
And it took only 6 minutes to get to that point about how great it was that Will Campbell knocked 50-year-old Mike Vrabel on his ass.
That was talking point number one coming into the day. No question about it. Yes.
Yeah. How did they deliver that? Did they text that to you while you're on vacation?
No. I read it. I read about it.
Okay.
But I thought at the time, and I laughed. I said, it's so Vrabel. Remember when he was coaching the Titans and he came here and he's sprints off and off the field. He's doing push-ups and sit-ups on the sideline. It's Hardo. It's Hardo-esque, and I love it.
I do kind of like that about him, though, that he does want to, actually make contact with his players the way a good coach does.
Yeah.
He wants to teach technique in a hands-on way. I love that about him. I don't think that should be the determining factor.
No, it's not.
And I listened, and if you listen closely to the draft video that the team put out after that pick, I caught this over the weekend. He says that it sealed the deal. Vrabel on the phone with him in one of the extended video cuts. It was the 8-minute long video of Will Campbell's day one in Foxborough. And he's like, yeah, man, sealed the deal last week. I'm like, Why are you guys doing this? Why?
It's content.
You shouldn't need the 4th overall pick and the top tackle taken in the draft to knock your 50-year-old coach on the ground to seal the deal. That should not seal the deal. That shouldn't even be part of the equation. But it is.
Hey, they didn't trade out. 3 tackles went in the top 10. And I just think that they had this kid picked from probably the whole first step of the process when you start looking at left tackles. It's an obvious need with the football team. It's the worst position. It was never addressed. The reason I think you're forced to take a tackle and stick and pick it for is you put yourself in this own position. You had a bad football team for 2 years. You never stocked the tackle position. You're basically bringing guys off the street. You gave a core for how much money last year? $4 million. Got quit after week 1. You didn't address the tackle position for the last two to 3 years, which is why you got to go sign a big veteran. This is why you got to draft an offensive tackle at number 4. And I know it's not a big, sexy pick, but it's a building block type pick. You needed a tackle. So they're forced to pick at 4. Hey, if you'd have lost that last game, maybe you could have acquired more picks, traded back to 4 or 5, and still got Will Campbell. It wasn't a necessity that you would have had to take him number 1. But the fact you drop back to number 4, and it's a weak draft. We know it. We've talked about it. And I thought they got better. They did. Feels like they addressed needs on offense.
It does. And look, I don't know if any of these guys are going to be able to play or not. I'm excited about some of these players, but the biggest thing that I took away from that was it felt like it was a team that actually had sort of control of their board and an understanding of what they wanted to accomplish throughout that draft. And I go back to last year and the run on tackles and them sort of being at the end of it and the run on receivers at the end of the first round, trying to trade back up. Well, we can't get there. All right, we're going to trade back, and now we're going to take a guy that can't actually play in Jalen Polk. Whether it's Bill Belichick reaching for guys and the Rams making fun of you for taking Cole Strange 2 rounds early.
True.
It felt like you were taking guys where you were supposed to be taking for them and addressing needs. And so do I know if they can play? No, but the way they went about it is an encouraging step forward for this franchise.
I totally agree with this. I couldn't agree more. And I think you have to point to what has changed in a year's time. The people running the draft and the people running the team.
Did you see the videos of Ryan Caden and company and Vrabel?
His name's Ryan Cowden.
Cowden.
Yes.
Cowden. Where I saw where Stretch was sitting. I saw where Elliott Wolf was sitting. I saw where Cam Williams was sitting. Vrabel obviously at the front at 4-0. You see where ownership is over to the side.
Yeah, who was the guy who was closest?
Vrabel.
Yep.
Yeah. It's his draft, and we know that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I know they have order, and they pass the phone to Elliott, then he passes it to Mike. He then passes it to
It's
Mr.
such a
Kraft.
dog and pony show.
Yeah, but it's not.
Elliott Wolf is a dog and pony show, and he's ownership's guy, is what he is. And that's them propping him up, the way they put him in the front row, the way they send him out there for the press conference. If you like the approach in this draft, you like it because Mike Vrabel's the guy who is sitting next to the two owners in the front row, closest to the top dogs, running the show.
Remember how weird
everything runs through him. So the thing that was very intriguing about what happened on round 2 on Friday night was that Elliott made it public that there was a strong debate.
38.
How did he phrase it?
We had a good back and forth about
Was it back and forth?
Yeah.
Okay. There was a conversation in the room about what they were going to do at 38. What was the conversation before they took Travion Henderson? What was the debate about?
I'm going to guess receiver. I mean, I think that was your second biggest need, not running back. But then you look at it and you see, hey, we got an offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. We don't have a James White type player, that third down scan back, the blitz pickup guy, the explosive third down screen guy. Now that's what they were missing. And the kid from Ohio State, Henderson, was sitting there. They said, let's pounce. I want to know who wanted him. That's what I'd love to know. Who disagreed with it? And it just seemed like there was order in all the videos that were put out. Like, remember how uncomfortable you were when Bill stood up at the Mac Jones pick and they called the other 3 guys up and they all had their arms in front of them crossed. Are you good with this? Are you good with this? We're all good with this. Like, that was so staged. I didn't feel like I was watching anything staged the other night. I know you said the Elliott thing, but
yeah, it feels staged to me.
Did you not expect it, though? Bang, bang, bang. Right down the line.
I mean, what do you mean by that? I don't even know what you mean.
Just the order of what it was. Did you expect something different, that Mike was going to get on the phone first or Mr. Kraft was going to get on the phone first? I mean, the GM gets on the phone first. Then you talk to the head coach.
It was Cam.
Cam does the dialing, yes.
Who does the first part of the conversation.
He's done that the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, and then they passed the phone to Elliott, and then they passed the phone to Mike Vrabel, and then they passed the phone. Have we seen the order as frequent? I mean, I know we've seen the handoff from Bill to ownership before,
well,
but we're making sure we're seeing like the full pass the phone around the room video now these days.
The phone chain.
Yeah, there's a chain there, chain of command. And second to last is Mike Vrabel. I just have I have a theory. I have a theory about what went on with that Henderson pick and why there was a debate there.
Ooh.
A theory as to what happened and why they had to have a debate. And I don't know which side everybody fell on in that debate, but I just have a theory about what it could have been about.
Yeah, you texted something to our text chain.
Because
I
the
said,
pick,
uh-oh.
the pick surprised me.
Yeah.
I love
Me
the
too.
pick.
I was floored by it.
I love this pick. I think it's amazing. When his name was coming up on Friday, we kind of like brushed it to the side because it was like, yeah, that would be great. But come on, what are the odds that A, he's there, or B, they're going to want to go running back there? Well, they did. And I think it's great that they did.
Weaponize the offense.
I think that's an easy player to get really excited about because you watch the tape and there's so much there, and his ability to throw blocks is incredible. But what was going on there? What was the debate? I want to know more. That's what I care most about.
I think that last part, too. Understand the playbook.
Yeah.
Now you're acquiring real bodies at the wide receiver position to where you have an overstocked room. And at some point, you're going to start eliminating players.
If he turns out to be good, you know why he will have been a good draft pick? Why they angled Kyle Williams there as their pick? Because Josh McDaniels, I assume, interviewed him at some point. That's why he will end up being a good pick, because they had good scouting on him, because they knew what the hell to do.
He's Deion Branch with a burst. He's going to play the X. So you got a boundary guy now. And when you say, what's that mean when you play the X? So you remember the stuff Deion did. Slants, quick twitch stuff. Curls, digs, and go routes when he would set it up with the moves. He has much more quickness than what Deion had. And I think he averaged, over 17 yards a catch? But I think he was a former quarterback, wasn't he? The kid went to UNLV, ends up
Then
moving
he went
around.
to Washington State.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, listen, the approach for the Patriots, though, first 4 picks, offensive tackle. They go with the big-bodied Will Campbell, short little arms, but big-bodied Will Campbell.
Yep.
They go with the T-Rex at 4. They go with Travion Henderson, very exciting pick. They go with Kyle Williams, and then they go with Jared Wilson, a center. Good long-term plan at center.
He may play guard also.
Great. 2 offensive linemen, a receiver, and a running back. They wanted to bolster their offense through the draft, so they did it. Love that.
LSU,
Good.
Ohio State,
Great idea.
Georgia. Yeah,
I love it.
Real programs.
What was the battle at 38 about with Travion Henderson? Here's my theory.
Yeah.
They didn't expect him to be on the board still.
Bingo.
They didn't think he'd still be there at 38. And they had somebody else they were eyeing at 38. And then somebody in the room, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it's Elliott or if it's Stretch or if it's Cowden or Vrabel. I don't know who the debate was between, but somebody there said, hey, there's no way we can pass on that player. That is what my theory is on what the hell happened there. They didn't think he would be there. He was there at 38. They had another guy that they were eyeing to take at 38, and then they realized they couldn't do it.
What's nice is they didn't reach. Doesn't feel like they reached in this draft.
No,
Like you
I
could
don't
argue,
think so at all.
you could argue that they reached with Campbell. Like any other year, he's probably not the number 4 pick. But you had to get an effing tackle. You had to. So if that's the guy you like, you take him.
So I think it's a sign that it's a good pick.
Yes.
And that they were able to get him there.
And they got complimented by guys like
I
Sean
think that's
McVay,
probably the battle.
Yes.
That was
Player,
like, guys, we can't pass on this player.
Right. Yeah.
We knew we wanted to get a running back in this draft. This guy is here. We've got to change course here and take him. We can't pass on this player. That's what I'm guessing it was about.
That's what it feels like.
Which means they got a good pick in terms of value of where they were picking.
Yeah. And that's a piece of Josh's offense that he needs. He probably leaned heavily on it.
Well, it's an explosive player, too. Like, it feels like they're actually adding pieces now to this offense where, like, hey, you can actually pick up chunk plays now as an offense.
They're called
and you're
weapons,
not
McCone.
Just
Weaponize the offense.
grinding out 15, 20 play drives constantly and, like, struggling to score consistently.
Right.
And
we don't want to be in 3rd and long every time we have the football.
Right.
See, everybody says Vrabel's a defensive guy. Yeah, he is a defensive guy. But when did he have success in Tennessee? Derrick Henry, right? Strong running game, fast attacking defense, and you grind teams out, you win games that way. It'd be great, especially Ohio State, that whole background thing, connections there. And Vrabel's like, yeah, let's take the kid from Ohio State. It'd be great if Vrabel pushed for that. We'll never get the story on it, but
Well, I hope he
draft.
knocked Vrabel on his ass. That's what I hope.
I don't think Vrabel touched him. It's like Rocky chasing the chickens. You know,
He juked Vrabel, and that's when they were like, we got to do it.
We gotta do it.
We got to do it.
oh, my hamstring. I blew my knee out. I got meniscus.
Seals the deal. Seals it. 617-779-0985. Patriots are getting all kinds of praise across the board for the draft that they had.
Makes me nervous.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Aren't those the drafts where you're like, oh,
we say
no,
this
no.
every year. I hate the damn grades. Like I don't know people got to do it because that's part of your content, but we have no clue how it's going to play out. I thought Jalen Polk was going to be great, a year ago. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Feels good.
I mean, even here on our own station over the weekend, if you were listening, you heard it. You heard Barthy. Barthy's running around pants off. Oh, yeah. Good thing that the weekend programming's not on the simulcast.
George, too, the people's champ. He was good this week.
Oh,
I heard him a lot. Jesus.
Bart
I never heard of a producer talk so much.
and Cerrone this weekend talking about the draft and the job the Patriots did.
You sit here today, talk about a brighter tomorrow. The way the Patriots approached this draft, we talked about this being a foundational offseason about Mike Vrabel wanting to build his core, and that's the kind of players they took in terms of the positions they targeted, in terms of the personalities they targeted, obviously the skill sets. This feels like it could be a foundational draft for the Patriots.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I love the combination of what they did in the draft and what they did in free agency and how it kind of, I would say, meshes together, but you kind of see what they're doing here, man. The attention to dominant in the trenches and dominant, not on the outside with the skill position guys, even though they got those guys, they seem to have a mindset of we're going to be a dominant team in the trenches on both sides. We're going to be a physical team. We're going to be able to run the football. We're going to be able to stop the run. We're going to be able to get pressure. Our front seven's going to be better. we're just going to be more of a balanced team and not make this, and we understand it's all about Drake May, but we're not going to make this a Drake May drop back and throw it 45 times a game and be one of those type of offense, one of those type of teams, real finesse. I think this team is built to be a physical squad, and you hit the nail on the head in the open there, that foundational pieces, guys that we're going to be talking about for a long time. And it actually feels like a true change for this Patriots team.
I hope that's the case, because last year after Drake May, they took 2 offensive linemen and 2 receivers. And they attacked offense last year, and they really didn't get much out of it.
Right.
I mean, that's the other takeaway from this draft class, by the way. And look, no one really popped last year, so it's obvious, but you swung and missed in terms of that being a foundational offseason at all last year outside of Drake May. The expectation now moving forward, I think, is that none of those guys are going to be productive players for you.
Even here.
You didn't get a single thing beyond May in that draft,
right.
and which is why you are back here drafting more offensive linemen and more receivers in 2025. And you hope and feel like these ones could be better picks. But the reason you're in this spot again is because of last year's draft.
Yeah, in the last couple of years, I said that at the start of the show. Like the reason you've got to make these picks because it's your own fault. But it feels like it's sort of reset here. They had a good free agency class. It seems like they had a good draft class.